Okay, welcome to another class. So today we are going to see the some basics related to transmission line theory. So basically there are two types of circuit models we have discussed. So when you have studied in your second semester, you have studied second or third semester, you have studied the lumped element circuit model for a transmission line. So basically you have studied the basic circuit theory. So what is the key difference between the circuit theory and transmission line theory? So first thing is, what is the key difference? What is the key difference between the circuit theory and transmission line theory? So the key difference is basically electrical size. Electrical size. So this is very important term and it differentiates between the circuit theory and transmission line field theory. So circuit analysis, what circuit analysis assumes? Let me define to you. What circuit analysis assumes? Circuit analysis assumes that the physical dimension of the network are much smaller. The physical dimension of the network are much smaller than the electrical wavelength. The physical dimension of the network. So what circuit theory tells that the physical dimension. So here you can write in circuit theory, the physical dimension of a network are much smaller than the electrical wavelength. Okay, but in transmission line, but in short I am writing TL, so you understand this is short notation, transmission line. So but in transmission line, what is happening in transmission line? Transmission line, 1 minute. So transmission line may be considerable fraction of a wavelength. Transmission line may be considerable fraction of wavelength. Okay, so thus the transmission line is basically distributed parameter. The transmission line is basically, you can say the transmission line is basically a distributed parameter. So basically the transmission line is a distributed parameter network where voltages and currents can vary in amplitude and phase over its length. So we can write here, in transmission line the voltages and currents can vary in magnitude and phase over its length. So here the resistance in transmission line, it is we are measuring resistance in resistance per unit length. Okay, so the measurement is ohm per meter. Similarly, the capacitor, the inductor is Henry per meter, capacitor is farad per meter, and we have another shunt capacitance, that is shunt conductance. It is measured in, it is denoted by G, so it is measured in Siemens per meter. So generally this is your line R, L, C, and here you have G. This is your generator end, and this is your load end. Here you are connecting load. You are giving supply, power supply, VG, IG. So this is the typical transmission line, and suppose this length is delta Z. So this is a typical scenario. The current, I told you, it is a function of distance and time. Here you are applying voltage, that is also a function of distance and time, and this length is delta Z. So it is going in positive Z direction. So here you can write the transmission line. So you can see here the current, here the current is IZ comma T, here it is Z plus delta Z comma T. Here the current is IZ comma T, here the current is IZ plus delta Z comma T. Why it is like this? Because the length of this line is delta Z, and current and voltages are depending on length. So if this length is delta Z. So this is a typical transmission line scenario. This is the typical transmission line. scenario. So the series inductance represents the total self inductance of the two conductors. So let us see that elements. So the series inductance L represents the total self inductance of the two conductors and the shunt capacitance C is due to the close proximity of the two conductors. So the series resistance, basically what is series resistance? The series resistance capital R represents the resistance due to finite conductivity of the conductors. So the series resistance R represents the resistance due to the finite conductivity of the conductors. Okay, so what is G? G is conductance. What is G? G is conductance. So G is due to the dielectric loss. G is due to the dielectric loss So it is due to the dielectric loss in the material, between the conductors. Okay, so these are elements. So let us write down the equations. Let us write down the equations by applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law. So again I am here drawing the circuit. So let us write down the equation. So here you can apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law. So you can write as V Z comma T minus R delta Z is resistance multiplied by this current I Z comma T minus L delta Z del I Z comma T divided by del T minus V Z plus del Z comma T is equals to 0. So this is the equation. So basically this is Ohm's law, L di by dt. Then we have this voltage. So all these voltages, basically this voltage and this voltage, if you sum all these voltages, it is equal to the generator voltage, the voltage provided at the generator end. So what we are getting here, and also we can apply the Kirchhoff's current law. Applying the Kirchhoff's current law, what we will get, I, this current is sum of this current and this current. Okay, so these three means this current can be divided into this current. So the current coming here is this sum of this current and this current. So here you can apply I Z comma T is equals to G delta Z Z plus delta Z comma T minus C delta Z del Z plus delta Z comma T divided by del T minus I Z plus delta Z comma T is equal to 0. So this is Kirchhoff's current law, this is Kirchhoff's voltage law. So we get two equations, the first equation and the second equation. So let us write down again in these equations. So now let us divide. So this is your first equation, this is your second equation. Now dividing the first equation with second equation by delta z. So let us divide this equation by delta z and this equation also by delta z. And since we know that this delta z is very small quantity, that it is basically very small element, so we can take delta z tends to 0. So let us divide first equation and second equation by delta z. Dividing first and second by delta z and taking the limit as delta z tends to 0 gives del v z comma t divided by del z minus r I z comma t minus del I z comma t divided by del t. Second is so this is your third equation, this is your fourth equation. Okay, so now we can apply that since delta z tends to 0, so what we are going to get? We are going to get del v z comma t divided by del t is equals to minus r I z comma t minus l del I z comma t divided by del t, then del I z comma t divided by del z is minus gv z comma t divided by del t. So these two another equation. So basically these equations are time domain form of the transmission line. These two equations are basically the time domain form of the time domain form of the transmission line. Okay, so for the sinusoidal steady state condition, for the sinusoidal steady state condition, what will happen that we can apply, we can write it is in the form of phasor. We all know that del divided by del t is we can replace by j omega. So del divided by del t we are going to replace by j omega. if we consider the sinusoidal steady state condition, for the sinusoidal steady state condition, for the sinusoidal steady state condition, what we can write? We can write dVz divided by dz is equal to minus r plus j omega L multiplied by Iz. The next equation we can write is diz divided by dz is equal to minus g plus j omega c into Vz. So these are two equations, please keep in your mind. So now with the help of these two equations you can find out the wave propagation along the transmission line. You can find out the wave propagation on a transmission line. So next thing is wave propagation. So how the wave is propagating. So the wave propagation on a transmission line. So this is the equations we have written. If you differentiate with respect to z, both equations. See previous, these two equations we are going to differentiate with respect to z again. So it is these two equations are written as d square v z divided by dz square minus gamma square vz is equal to 0. D square iz divided by dz square minus gamma square iz is equal to 0, where gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta, that is simply the propagation constant, and it is equal to under root r plus j omega L g plus j omega c. So this gamma is a constant quantity, The gamma is a constant quantity and which is basically the function of frequency. So gamma is a constant quantity and basically complex quantity, and it is not constant quantity, it is complex quantity, and it is dependent on frequency. So if you change the frequency, the value of gamma will change. So gamma is dependent on frequency. So if we solve, if you keep in your mind that we need to find out the traveling wave condition, we need to try solve these two equations that we have given in previous page. So what we are going to get is Vz is equal to V naught plus e raised to the power minus gamma z plus V naught minus e raised to the power plus gamma z, and what we are getting Iz is equal to I naught plus e raised to the power minus gamma z plus I naught minus e raised to the power plus gamma z. So these two equations we are going to get. So where the term e raised to the power minus gamma z, what this term told, what this term tell? So the term represents the wave propagation in positive direction. The term e raised to the power minus gamma z represents the wave propagation in positive z direction. And the term e raised to the power minus gamma and the term e raised to the power plus gamma z represents the wave propagation in negative z. It represents that e raised to the power plus gamma z represents the wave propagation in plus z direction. So basically, if we find out Iz here, so if we find out Iz in terms of Bz, how we can write this equation? So Iz, please do some mathematics. So Iz is equal to gamma R plus j omega L V naught plus e raised to the power minus gamma z minus V naught minus e raised to the power plus gamma z. So this is your value of Iz. Now what is z naught? Z naught is R plus j omega L divided by gamma, and that is equals to R plus j omega L divided by j omega C. So what is that quantity Z naught? Z naught is called the characteristics impedance, very important quantity. In transmission line, that Z naught is very important quantity and it is called the characteristic impedance, and it is basically Z naught is basically V naught plus divided by V naught minus I naught plus, and that is also equals to minus V naught minus divided by I naught minus. So this is called the characteristic impedance. This quantity is called the characteristics impedance. So Iz can be written in terms of Z naught. So Iz is written as V naught plus divided by Z naught e raised to the power minus gamma z minus V naught minus divided by Z naught e raised to the power plus gamma z. So this is the value of Iz. This is the value of Iz. So finally what we are going to get, if we convert back this phasor form to time domain form, what we are going to get? So coming back to the time domain, what we are going to get? We are going to get V z comma t. Here I have taken a small v In phasor notation we have taken the capital V. So please don't confuse with this small and capital V. So Vz comma t is basically modulus of V naught plus. Here we are going to get the time domain terms that we have suppressed. So it is cos omega t minus beta z plus the phase propagating in positive. If this is propagating in positive plus z direction, so the wave is obviously associated with some phase. So maybe phase is 0, but we need to take the generalized we need to take the generalized one. Okay, so that equation should be in the should be generalized. So maybe the phase is 0, but we are considering maybe it is not necessary, maybe it is not 0. So we are considering all the possibilities. Again we have a plus considering the backward wave. So this alpha is basically your attenuation constant. Alpha is basically your attenuation constant. Okay, so gamma is basically that propagation constant is equal to alpha plus j beta. The propagation constant gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta. Okay, so we have what is that, phi. So phi plus minus is the phase angle of V plus minus. And what is lambda? Lambda is 2 pi divided by beta. What is lambda? Lambda is 2 pi divided by beta. And what is Vp? Vp is omega divided by beta, and that is equal to lambda into f. So what is Vp? Vp is called the phase velocity. What is Vp? Vp is called the phase velocity. So all these quantities are all of you know, okay, that beta is simply the propagation constant. It is simply 2 pi divided by lambda. So we can find out lambda in terms of beta. Lambda is the wavelength. So these things you have already learned in the plane wave case. The plane wave you have studied all these things thoroughly. So now we are going to see the lossless transmission line. Just like we have studied in your when you have seen the electromagnetic wave propagation, you have some conditions like the lossless, then we have lossy, all these things we have considered. Here also we are going to consider all these scenarios. So first we are going to see the lossless line. So the lossless line is basically if you have the propagation constant gamma, that is alpha plus j beta. So alpha is 0. Obviously alpha is 0 if it is lossless line, because there is no attenuation. If there is no attenuation, the value of alpha is equal to 0. So the gamma will become 0 plus j beta, and that is equal to j beta only. And also the value of R and G is equal to 0. The value, because there is no resistance, the value of R and G is equal to 0. So what will happen with this Z0? That is under root R plus j omega L divided by G plus j omega C. So if G is 0 and R is 0, then the characteristic impedance of the transmission line is simply j omega L divided by j omega C, and it is L by C. So it is basically that purely resistive. So the characteristic impedance is purely resistive. The characteristic impedance is purely resistive, which basically it is a real number. Basically what we are getting only a real number, because there is no complex quantity here. So it is basically a real number and the unit is ohm. That's why I am saying that it is purely resistive, because only real part is there. There is no imaginary part. So I hope you understand what I mean to say. So now that Vz is written as V naught plus, there is a change. Instead of gamma, since gamma is alpha plus j beta, since alpha is 0, so gamma is only j beta. So we have to replace minus gamma with minus j beta. So Vz is equals to V naught plus e raised to the power minus j beta z plus V naught minus e raised to the power plus j beta z. Very simple. And what is Iz? Again you see here I have taken the capital notation for V and I because it is in phasor form. So Iz is equals to V naught plus divided by Z naught e raised to the power minus j beta z minus V naught minus divided by Z naught e raised to the power j beta z. What is lambda? Lambda is equals to 2 pi divided by beta, and that is equals to 2 pi divided by omega under root LC. And what is Vp? Vp is equals to omega divided by beta, that is equals to 1 divided by under root LC, that is equals to 1 divided by under root LC. So these are equations when you have lossless transmission line. So these equations are for lossless. So these equations are for lossless transmission line. These equations are for lossless transmission line. Now I hope this lecture is you understand. Okay, so please ask question regarding that. If you have any question regarding that, please